Hey guys, it's Friday morning, getting ready to go to the SOE offices. Need to go shower, make sure this all looks, you know, not like a zombie. If you guys want to see the quick hotel room, you can. It's pretty basic. There's the command center over there. Got a full-fledged kitchen. And we've got a nice little couch, TV. Bedroom, another TV, and then out here is sunny San Diego. It's kind of weird. I'm on the first floor. People can actually just walk by. It's rather interesting. Last night when people walked by the room, and you know, I was just wearing underwear sitting at the computer. They probably thought some devious shit was going down. But yeah, I'm gonna hop in the shower, and then we're gonna head over to SOE after we get some lunch. So we'll see you guys then. What's going on, Maggie?
Driving you to my work.
We're driving over to the SOE offices where I'm gonna get a chance to look at H1Z1, meet with a bunch of the devs. Maggie also works there, in case you didn't know.
Not on H1Z1.
Yeah.
I wish, no.
You still working PlanSide 2?
I do some stuff for PlanSide 2, but I'm mostly working on EverQuest 2.
Oh, that's right. You moved over to EverQuest 2, or Next, or Landmark.
2,
or...
EverQuest 2.
It's just called EverQuest 2 now?
It's a game that's been out for a while.
Okay, cool. Oh, EverQuest 2. Oh, old school EverQuest.
Yeah. Well, not the first.
Not the first, yeah, you mean the second one. I thought you meant like...
It's still pumping. We're going on our 10-year anniversary soon, so...
Yeah, I thought you meant like EverQuest Next. But that's not EverQuest 2.
No. They're different things. Different games.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll shoot some of the office when we get over there, and then I think in about 3 hours I'll be live streaming. So.
Are you excited about it?
I think I'm more excited to see like what type of stream it's gonna be, in the sense of like, am I just gonna kill everyone? Or are the devs going to just try to kill me on sight? Or is it going to be like a learning process? Or
I'm sure they're going to probably run you through how to play the game, so that when you're live streaming, you already know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That way you're not like a...
And I kind of wish that I didn't have that, but I guess for being that we're only playing for an hour, like, it makes sense, right? So.
I would say that if you want to be friendly, like, put your hands up.
Yeah. I'll have to do all the emoticons. So yeah, we'll.
Or you can just beat him in the face.
There you go.
No friends.
I feel like a lot of the community doesn't want to just see me kill on sight, so I'll try to be friendly for a while.
Or be like, hey, I'll be your friend. I won't kill you if you take your pants off. No, I'm just kidding.
You could do something like that. You could. You totally could. So yeah, I'll film some stuff when we get over to the SOE offices, and see you guys then. First off, thanks to the Reddit crew over at our H1Z1 for helping me out with these questions. Put up a post on there, and like 100 or so people responded, so huge shout out to those guys. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm here with Jimmy Whisenhunt. Adam Clegg was supposed to be here, but he's out for the day.
Yeah.
But regardless, what is your official title with the H1Z1 project?
I'm a senior designer. There's really like no leads or anything on this project, and like even engineers will be like designers. So it's kind of weird, but I work on combat and a lot of the player stuff.
Cool. So let's just jump into it. You know, H1Z1 was announced a while back, and you guys have been
pretty much community focused the entire time since the very beginning. What prompted this style of development for the game? What was the catalyst for it, if you will?
Well, we've been making games for a long time, and usually what we find is, and also while we play them, is you can make a game under wraps for like 3 years, and then when you release, you go, here's the whole 5-course meal, right? And what they'll do is people will eat the steak, and they'll pick at the potatoes, and then no one ever touches the broccoli or the peas or whatever. And, in the end, we want people to enjoy our games. And with PlanetSide 2, we did the roadmap and let people give big feedback on what features they'd like to see. We like that. And so this time we're like, why don't we just, do this the whole time? Like, why don't we just, let everyone in, right from the beginning? So it's fun. It can be hectic, but it's fun.
Yeah, how's the whole process going? What are some of the biggest changes the community's response to certain things or even ideas that they've had that you guys have implemented?
So a lot of it's been it's been hard so far. I'll start with that because we look at Reddit daily and we try to look for big picture stuff right now because without someone having their hand on the game and being involved with playing it, it's hard to take all the feedback to heart, right? Because until you actually feel something, you have tangible experience with it, it's rough. But we have looked at things like people are talking about what type of crafting systems they'd like to see and what sort of depth, and we can take those to heart and really try to flesh that out and let them play with it. But it's usually crafting related and more big picture stuff.
So engine-wise, you guys built H1Z1 on a modified. Is it the PlanetSide 2 engine, or is it heavily modified?
So a lot of optimization actually. There's a lot of things that PlanetSide 2 has that we didn't necessarily need, and we had to add some things as well as far as our simulation stuff goes. But the rendering and everything is essentially the same. We've just made improvements, which is actually that's a big cornerstone of us now at SOE. Is we can share that back with PlanetSide 2 now. Right. We're sharing the same code base, so we can hopefully help each other out as the projects go forward.
Historically, PlanetSide 2 has been an engine that has had a hard time running on a lot of systems. It's gotten a lot better since then, especially nowadays. But this genre, this survivor genre, has always been plagued by poor performance, whether it's shoddy animations or just it doesn't run well on the majority of machines out there. What kind of performance are you guys seeing right now in the current state of the game, and what are you aiming for at release?
So our goal was if you can run PlanetSide in its current state, which if you haven't yet, I'd recommend checking it out. Like I actually hadn't played PlanetSide in months since I left the project because I've been so busy trying to make sure I'm super focused on this project. I jumped back in when Austin got released, and I was like, holy crap, I am streaming on a single PC at 48 frames, 1080, while playing at 1080 Ultra. So like, if you can play PlanetSide 2 in its current state, you're going to be able to play ours better, and that's our goal. We want to have better frame rates and everything, because in the end, there's not going to be thousands of people all around you.
Right.
So.
Is that a goal we can expect for early access or release, or just always something that you guys are always striving for?
Always going to be. We're always going to be striving for that. I mean, obviously in early access, we're going to miss some things, and we're going to be moving forward with that. We're more than willing to own the fact that we're not perfect. I don't think anyone is. So it will run well in early access. That has been a goal from day one. And every day when we add a new aspect to the renderer, we change NPC counts. We look at our different goal PCs, which we have them built, and see what the frame rates are, and make sure that it's aligning with what we want.
Cool. A quick config checklist, really. Are we going to have head bob toggle? Or slider or anything like that?
There's not a lot of head bob right now, so I'm not sure it's needed. If we go with head bob, yeah, we would want to make sure that people could turn that down, yeah.
Any ideas on the FOV range?
FOV range, so we use a vertical FOV, which all games do. They just don't show it to you as it's vertical. They actually translate it.
Right.
Right now you can go up to 74 vertical. It's not quite the 130 that I play in Quake, but that gets a little immersion breaking.
Sure. Any colorblind options, perhaps at release? Probably not for early access.
At release, we'd like to do stuff like that, super polished stuff. But thankfully, in our game, there's not. It's not like PlanetSide 2. You know, the purple, red, blue.
Yeah.
Not the best colors for some people that are colorblind.
Right, exactly.
So it's not going to be a huge focus, but we'd like to provide that sort of thing. Yeah.
Are there any movement controls outside of a WASD, kind of like Arma 3, how it has the head leans or the side leans or anything like that? Is that going to be planned in the game?
We'd like to do leans. We'll see what all of that entails. And actually, in our game, because of our combo system and the boxing that we've kind of put in, it may end up being like Fight Night 2014 because you'll be able to like lean left and right and punch things. So that would be kind of cool. We'll see though. Like, we really want to get the core game before we add more layers on top to see what it does.
Are there any special config settings that you guys currently have in the game? I think I saw a draw distance toggle in there. Is there anything else apart from that in the options currently?
Currently, we have the render options as well. PlanetSide 2 is known as render quality. You can actually, it's a lot of super sampling and that fun stuff. So we give some better access than a lot of games to change their render settings, because in the end, someone might not care as much about the fuzziness as they do frame rate and whatever.
Cool. You guys have talked about a lot of different server types before, but you are reluctant to really say what those are. Can you give me an idea of what you guys are looking to have for early access? Are we going to see anything as far as like role-playing servers, or what are we really talking about there when it comes to server types?
So we've had example server types. We actually don't know. There's no like definitive list of things we want to do because we're leaving it to the community. But I mean, an example would be we can have a server where when you die, your houses that you've built are now unlocked, so anyone can raid them. And then the zombies have 3 times more health, do 5 times more damage, run twice as fast, and there are no guns. We can do that, or we can say that players don't do near the amount of damage they do in the more hardcore core servers to each other. Maybe you can live longer in certain servers without food. We want to make sure that whatever the body simulation handles and whatever damage is done and speeds of the things in the game are all tunable per server. So there's a really big combination. That's why we haven't talked a lot about it, is because there's like
There's
way too many like combinations.
Are you guys planning on anything like a hardcore server where there's no third person, or is third person something you guys want to be a part of the game at all times?
We're going to roll forward with the third and first in early access, and as we get servers up, we'll try a first-person only server. Because, I mean, I'm one of those guys. Sometimes I feel like jumping in a game and only playing first person.
Right.
Because it is kind of BS sometimes someone look over a fence at you. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
I had no idea you were there.
What about in terms of, like, can we expect servers where there are no X, where things are limited? Like, are you going to be limiting perhaps, I don't know, melee weapons, or like what is the thing that is going to call for a certain server type? Is it just if the community is requesting it heavily enough?
Yeah, so we actually talked about a token system. If you go to H1Z1 and look for Smedley's post on Reddit, he's actually talked pretty far in depth about the token system and how a player get tokens, and they can spend that to vote on what type of rule set they would like to see next. So we get direct feedback within game versus having to just figure out what people want. I mean, we want to give people the ability to talk directly to us in a very clear manner instead of just guessing. So that's our goal.
Are you going to ever allow perhaps a world building tool or any sort of public toolkit where members of the community could come in and maybe create a mod? I mean, we've seen things like that with perhaps Arma 3. I mean, this entire genre probably spawned out of a mod.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it absolutely did. Is there anything that we can expect from that? Or is it always going to be you guys are always in control of the servers? Well,
what's fun is we right now, the way we've kind of worked on this particular game, this project, has pretty much been a mod. It's pretty much, I don't know, in the way that we work together, it's a very indie project. So if the community wants us to go a direction, we feel that, and we think it's fun, and we want to do that, then we'll make our own with the community again. Because we've talked about the idea of having our own game modes that are smaller player-based things within our game that people could get into and have some fun with. Which essentially is what's happening with the Armor communities and everyone else, is they start making these different modes people enjoy, and we'll probably end up doing the same. It's a platform for us. Cool. But as far as player created mods and stuff, probably not, because once again we do host our own servers and everything else.
What type of control are you guys most worried about when it comes to giving the access to other players? Is it just that you want to be able to monitor all that and get stats from that, or what is the big barrier that you guys are afraid of, I guess?
Well, there's a couple things. Like, one, we're not a retail game, so we are free to play, so our monetization stuff has to be linked with our servers, and people can mess with all that and the economy of the game. So a lot of security problems, as well as the just general hacking problem of someone aimbotting and all that. We can handle that much better if we take care of it.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little about a loot, and we'll start with the good stuff with weapons. What's the range of guns we can expect for early access and as well as release?
So early access, we are rolling forward without a doubt. We've got the 1911 in game now, the M16, which has been turned into an AR-15, and will continue to head that direction. And I'm really wanting to get the 12-gauge shotgun and a 308 hunting rifle as far as guns, including the bow.
And this is early access?
Yeah, for early access. And maybe we're lucky enough to get a crossbow. We have a model. We need it rigged, and I need to tune it. But there are other areas we need the animation time right now. But really would love to see all those in for early access. For launch, sky's the limit. We'll see.
Are we going to go as far as having rocket launchers in the world of H1Z1?
That would be hilariously fun. What if there's only one in the world and you've never even known it existed and suddenly you just explode? Like, I think that would be a fun experience.
Right. I mean, I guess you could craft rockets, right? It has to exist in some way.
It's like quad damage. Like someone gets a hold of it, and it just keeps getting passed throughout the server.
Is there going to be? Can you envision weapons being something that strong, where they are kind of like an I win? If you have this particular thing, you're never going to be able to kill that person?
No,
unless
not at
there's
all.
like 4 or 5 people fighting the single group or something like that.
I don't think so. I mean, I think if you're smart enough about your play, we're really focusing on making sure this isn't a death match as far as the speed that a player can engage and maneuver while in combat. So you have to think about the steps that are leading up to your engagement. So if you have a bow and this guy has an M249 and he's laying down fire, and you manage to get to the side of him and shoot him in the side of the head, you win. I mean, the bow just beat the machine gun. So we want to make sure that that's there. We're not going to balance weapons around, like they're all the same and equal.
Right.
I mean, because this is a world where if you get a hold of that, it's a huge improvement. We're not selling them, so we don't have to worry about it.
Are you guys at all worried about the idea of something like a Zerg forming in some of these servers where it's
horrified?
It's just like a giant group of something awful people doing what they do in almost every game and just kind of running that server?
I can't wait to see what RVG or what VG and like just literally any subreddit or any 4chan or anything does to this game. We can't worry too much about it because whatever we plan for will not be true, right? Like with PlanetSide 2, we learned that no one ever played how we expected, ever,
right? No
matter what we did. So we're going to see how it goes and see what we can do to encourage the way that people would rather it be once it happens.
The internal testing, what are you guys seeing right now in terms of numbers that can be in an area at one time without having a huge drop in performance?
Oh, actually, we haven't seen that yet. So
really?
I mean, like right now, I'm nervous to quote how many we've had because I don't know exactly. I mean, our typical play test.
Can we ballpark it? Are we saying 100?
Well, with
thousands?
Oh, we haven't had thousands of players play yet, so we actually don't know. With the NPCs, we've had thousands of NPCs, and like as far as rendered and everything, but there's obviously caps, and we have to be careful because just because a mid-end machine runs it well, the low-end won't, and there's no way to balance that perfectly.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Bringing it back in to talk a little bit about weapons, we've seen a bunch of traps already in the game. Most are animal-based. Are we going to see anything like mines or any man-made traps or man traps rather?
Yeah, so there's a bear trap in game right now that is still being tuned. We haven't shown it yet because it's kind of wonky.
Will it only trap bears or can a human?
No, it'll trap anything. Like, it'll trap a zombie, a bear, a person, a rabbit. Squish the poor
How is
rabbit.
that triggered? Is it hidden in a sense, or
no? It's like, so if you put it in grass, I mean everyone's grass looks the same, so if you put it in grass and someone steps on it, like it clamps like a real one would, and so you're stuck in this thing and you're bleeding now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's horrible.
So basically we want to surround a house with all of those, so they have to do the jumping puzzle.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm into it. How deep is the gunplay going to be? I mean, I brought this up on the stream, but you've played competitive games when it comes to shooting. Are we going to see like a high skill ceiling, or is it going to be more accommodating to the general public where, I'm going to put my cursor on that and I'm going to pull the trigger and it's going to hit?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't be fooling one if I said like I'm not a massive Counter-Strike fan. I like the model of things are as you would expect. So once you fire something and you do it a few times, it will continue to behave that way. Obviously not to the T, because then it's way too easy to script that out and solve that problem. But they're high recoil. There's not a lot of random value outside of the recoil. There's no like cone of fire where your gun pulls right and the bullet goes left. So we want it to be a high skills ceiling thing. And that doesn't mean that someone's just going to be invincible. The bad player can still shoot you in the side of the head with an arrow. So, yeah.
Okay, so the arrow is kind of the...
It's an equalizer.
It's an equalizer in a sense, or the bow and arrows, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, crafting, a big thing in this game. How complex are some of these crafts going to be? I mean, what is the max ingredients for a craft right now?
Man, I wish I had a list on me. They're insane. I mean, I'm usually not a big crafting guy. I am when I play survival games, but like trade skilling MMOs and all this stuff, like forget it. In Rust, I've built huge structures. In DayZ, I've tried all kinds of combinations to get things to work. And in our game, I have spent like 2 days, persistent character, hours at a time, trying to build a foundation. And I'm on the way there. I'm not there yet, but it's fun to me because it's a carrot that's I'm getting closer each time, and they're sub-combines, so like you get enough metal sheets to turn into enough brackets or whatever. So you're constantly getting something by the end of the time you're done playing for that night, but you're not quite to your end goal yet. So it's fun, and it takes a long time, and it sucks because if you die, you lose it.
What would you say the average in-game time, whether it's a perfect run or just collecting the materials it takes to, I don't know, build a house?
It might be upwards. It could be anywhere between 2 hours to 10.
Just depending on how lucky you are with certain spawns and where you spawn in the world and whatnot. What would be the like how would you describe the crafting system? Is it a crafting system that builds on itself, where you take 2 pieces of wood, those make a plank, the plank turns into, I don't know, a structure, the structure turns into this, blah, 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 you get to add on doors? Or is it more along the lines of, like, you craft a door, the door goes on the building, and that's all there is? Like, nothing else leading up to the door can be turned into something else. Does that make sense?
So I think so. So, like, the way you end up discovering and crafting into other things, like, so you start off, if you can imagine, like, starting off on the left-hand side of a line, and you just continually work to the right until you get a good base of these things. So, you know, log into plank into stick, and that's, you know, pretty basic. And then stick plus plank equals animal trap, and then log plus stick plus cloth equals something else. And you kind of build a pyramid out of this. And that's only with wood. Imagine that with metal, and imagine that with eventually stone and other things. And you get a really complex system.
Right.
But you will be building into large structures instead of just modifying the world itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Are we going to see crafts ever change, or is it once kind of someone figures it out, it's going to be posted on a wiki, then everyone's going to go to that wiki and have that forever?
We can't prevent that. Sadly, I wish we could, because like that is, I mean, going back to like the original, the first time we played through the Lich King fight in World of Warcraft, there was no tank spot, and the floor fell from underneath us.
Yeah,
and we spent 5 hours going, why did that happen?
Right.
That kind of gaming is fun to us, and we hope people play without the wiki, and we will be throwing in ingredients to things that already exist, and they may one day realize, wait, so I can actually discover something else with this now? Like grenade plus meat may equal zombie attracting grenade. Like, I mean, that's the stuff we want to add, kind of ninja patch those things in.
I know most ingredients are supposed to be rare, but is there anything that's going to be rarer than the others for some of these crafts? Like, I don't know, finding a jewel for ruby encrusted something or other, or anything like that?
It's too early to say. It would be fun to have animals, rare animals, to affect
like a bear tooth on a bow and arrow or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we even talked about like you find the frog and you dip the arrow in the frog, and or whatever. I mean, we'll see.
In terms of the town building, how much control are players going to have or with how that looks, how the town turns out? I mean, are we going to see like ridiculous contraptions of just giant 30-foot walls up on around a building that's, I don't know, 10 feet tall, or what can we expect?
We're actually not sure yet. We're kind of going to go wild for EA and see where we need to pull it back to, which is kind of counterintuitive. We'd rather not do it that way, but we want to see what players do with it first, because we can't assume.
Are you guys kind of going for a more micro or macro oriented building when it comes to that stuff? Are they going to be able to, I don't know, place a cup on the particular counter so that red cup is always there, or is it going to be more like this door goes there, that ladder goes there, et cetera, et cetera?
It'll be more macro. There will be some smaller things you can do, but not everything. Mostly because we, once again, have to worry about client performance. We want to make sure people have a good time outside of, you know, if they're not the one crafting and they're going to get a 40 FPS drop for this guy who put 60 cups on his table because it's 60 draw calls. We got to be careful. But yeah, we'll start macro and figure out where our ceiling is on the smaller things we can add.
What can you name towns? Or are you going to be able to, when someone walks into your settlement, it says the town named, I don't know, Chicagoville or something like that? Polaris
I talked to, they said they're going to make No Pants Town, and then the other guy was like, well, I'll make No Shirt Town. We're enemies. We're right across the street from each other.
Is that something you guys would hopefully bring in? Or?
We have a decal system. We've talked about tagging and spray painting, but I don't know. That would be fun. Even if it's like the Eddie Izzard, like flag capturing system.
Right.
Just run and flop down a flag, and because you did, it now says no pants down when you walk through. I don't know. I don't have a definite answer for that.
What about in terms of how players can get back to their town? Is there going to be something like a hearth where they can craft some certain item, and if they're out foresting or whatever and they get the call, oh shit, we're under attack, you got to get back here quick, you don't have a car, is it simply, oh shit, I have to run there? Or is it going to be like, I can hit this button and get back there faster?
You'll always be running back. We don't want to have a fast travel. At least, I think the only exception to that may be is if we end up with our dream of the United States size, and you might get a way to get somewhere else on a fresh spawn. But that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are settlements or towns, buildings, whatever, they're going to be pretty easy to take out? Like, can I walk into a settlement, sneak into a settlement even, set it on fire and walk out?
You could do something like that. Granted, if you do that, then it's going to take a long time for that thing to burn down.
Okay, so they could put it out or something.
Right. We don't want it to be an instantaneous thing. Unless, honestly, if you have a smaller home and someone pulls out a block of C4 and blows open your front door.
Is C4 going to be in the game?
We do want explosives in the game. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
We'll see when, and I may, be eating my foot in not too long of a time, but
sure.
I don't know. In the end, explosives are fun. I think most people agree. It just depends on the scale of explosives.
Sure. A single grenade could probably take out a pretty good chunk of a building.
Right, or zombies, right? Like, that's the real fun, is if we can have Ragdoll with a force of them flying through the air. That would be
cool. Character creation, what can we expect? Is it going to be as in-depth as something like EverQuest, or are we thinking more PlanetSide 2?
It'll be more like PlanetSide 2, and I could not help but laugh. This is, like, seriously one of the best ways to describe it. It sounded so cheesy, though. Matt Broom, one of our character artists, he's like, look, our goal is to have everyone you see in line to Starbucks. But, not everyone's hair and everyone's specific cheeks and eyes. But, you know what I mean? Like, we started with just the male guy because that was the easiest to get done in animated. Right. And from there, we're going to be adding females, and then we'll have an African-American, and we'll roll from there.
Okay. Any idea on the number of options? Or
No, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're just basically thinking, like, face, hair, body size.
It could be. It could be a simple body size. I don't think would be a thing. It's just essentially going to end up being male, female, and race, and then we'll see what overhead we have left to have more character customization.
Okay.
Because in the end, it could mean the difference between having more customization or 50 more weapons. So it's like, what is the important part there?
Sure, makes sense. Kind of going back into the mechanics, is there going to be a way to track people in game? For example, footsteps in the terrain. If there's snow out there, can I see someone's footsteps? If I happen upon their trail, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes after they were just there, or is that too much for you guys to really deal with right now?
So without giving away too much of the magic sauce of the tech, it's pretty commonly known we can't track every player's footsteps and have the server hold them for X time. Like, it's a lot of processing power that's just kind of, it'd be cool, but almost useless if we could be using it for AI and other things. But there are some ways we can do that. It won't be everyone in the server. We could do radiuses around the player.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. We'll see how far that is, but yeah.
Interesting. Audio is something that's super important in these type of games. Hearing a gunshot from across the map, or hearing a zombie slowly creeping up on you, or even a car a mile away that's approaching on your position. How much is being put into the audio side? How much work is being put into the audio side of this game?
Rodney Gates actually is incredible. He is an awesome engineer. He worked on I worked a lot with him on PlanetSide 2, and we are trying to flesh everything out. A lot of things right now, as you guys see, it doesn't have a lot of sound because we're not sure how we want to handle it yet. There's nothing that really touches the feeling of being in an open canyon and hearing something whiz by you and then hearing the gunshot. Like, we want to have great depth to that.
Okay. Huh. How long do bodies persist in the world, and what happens if a body, despawns over time? Do we lose all those items that were on the body? Do they stay on the ground? What type of thing can we expect for that?
So if a player dies and no one interacts with them with a tunable amount of time, it's really a variable right now. It could be 3 minutes or 30. It's kind of irrelevant, but once they're not touched and those things have been looted, you become a zombie and those items are now on that guy. So someone else will eventually get them. They're still in the world.
Okay. Random thought pops into my head just now. Is there going to be any sort of digging in this game to where you could could stash some loot that's in a certain area on the map that only you know about, and then you cover it up with? Is that anything that's possible?
So it's something we could do. Would we? I don't know. There is kind of there's a can of worms where you start giving someone a meta inventory. If no one else can access it, then they...
Well, people could access it. They just have to know where it's at, right?
Well, would they be able to see it, like a slight hint, or are you talking something being visible?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's where you would get into the interesting part.
We don't have train deformation in our game, but we can do something like that. We'll see. I actually think it may be needed because... Oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed on the stream, you can actually open that cabinet, put your things in the cabinet if you wanted to, and come back to it later.
Oh, okay. I
was
not aware of that. Interesting. So you could basically have a safe house of your own.
Right. Yeah.
As safe as possible.
Well, a lot of people just don't go in homes. It's like, it's all been looted through here. Be like, yeah, sucker. I just left like 5 boxes of ammo in there.
Yeah, I mean that was a thing. That was a thing back in the Arma 2 Daisy, where people would just like put everything in a canoe that was tipped over.
Right.
In the middle
a canoe or yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool to. I didn't know that on the stream. That's very interesting. Vehicles. What's the limit? Are we going to see boats, planes? Is it something as strong as a tank? Probably not, but our battle car or anything like that could ever pop up in the game?
I would love to see a tank one day. It's like a King of the Hill match because we just put one in
there. That might be the ultimate weapon, where no one can stop you.
So we are leveraging the PlanetSide 2 vehicle dynamic systems as well. So we can do flying, we can do boats, we can do ground vehicles. It's just whatever niche is missing. We're just going to give you the off-roader for early access, or for the first day of early access, and then we'll figure out what else is needed. It could be a bicycle next. I don't know. We'll just see what people want.
Bicycle makes sense. You can build bicycles
if
you have a metal furnace.
I want a bicycle. BMX style.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are zombies going to be able to pull you from a car?
Probably not. There's a lot of work that goes into that, as well as I could think of other things I'd rather happen to the car. Like zombies just do damage to the car instead.
Well, you're saying more visible damage.
Right.
They already do damage to the car when you run into them. You just don't notice it.
Right. It's almost nothing right now. It's a really weird system that we have. We need to tune it a lot more. But yeah, you will be interactable from outside the car, so someone could shoot you out of it. Technically, zombies, I guess if they get close enough, they could swipe at you and hit you and stuff. But I don't know about pulling out a car yet.
One of the other devs was showing me some stuff earlier where he was actually in a car riding up against probably 10 or so zombies, and the zombies they were strong enough where the car wasn't either giving enough force, it actually tipped the car over.
It's horrible.
Is that a bug or is that actually real?
There's mass. Like, so we calculate mass in our game. We could do a little bit better job. We'll be working for it on that. But yeah, actually I've seen that before. There's a video on our internal blog, which I'd love to show everyone one day, where there were like 30 zombies running at the car, and he just is like, F it, I'm plowing him down. And he hits it, and it flips the car over. So he freaks out and gets out. And they keep running at the car, and they push the whole car after him.
Oh, Jesus.
And so it looked like World War Z. Like, that's
right.
Look at the movie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we like that.
Cool. The game is, these types of games are so focused on your immediate surroundings. Mm-hmm. You never have really any idea what's going on 2 miles or even on the other side of the map. You'll have no idea, really. Unless you get over there, but then you're going to be, I don't know, an hour behind whoever was over there before, right? Is there any sense of chat or whisper system in the game to where if my friend is on the other side of the map, I can communicate with him and he can tell me what's going on? Or is that something you guys are thinking of blocking out?
So we have the full Steam integration, so that'll be a big help, where you can see what server your friend's on. You'll be able to communicate with them via Steam, as well as we have the PlanetSide chat system right now, and we can modularly take things from it. I don't know. We'll see. Like, we can do global text chat, but I have a feeling that'd be a nightmare.
Probably get a little spammy. Yeah.
But we could do whispers, yeah.
Voice communication's obviously in the game for proximity. Is there any form of long-range communication, perhaps from something crafted like a walkie-talkie or anything?
We really want to do radios.
Okay.
Like, that would be a lot of fun. One other fun thing we talked about was, what if there were only one radio tower left that worked, and every car happened to be tuned to it? And whoever controls this radio tower can say whatever they want to everyone with a radio.
Yeah. Because I guess at the end of the day, everyone's going to just download some third-party thing, Skype or Mumble.
We want to give them a reason
to
use it.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. They definitely need a reason. Clan support, friend support, anything like that, where I can either log in, play with a friend immediately because I'm near them, or I can log in and play with my clan or see where they're at. Is there any plans for that?
Yeah, we want to see how player movement and everything works first in groups, just vanilla, and see what happens. But we do have the platoon, squad, outfit stuff from PlanetSide 2 that we can change the numbers on and throw in at any time.
You mentioned groups. Are we going to have an actual party system with other players, or is it just going to be, I'm walking with this person, I'm not necessarily not going to shoot them sometime soon, but for now, we're friends.
For now, he's a benefit.
Is that kind of what you guys are looking at long term, or?
We'll see. Once again, you may be able to tag people, see their name a little bit further, mark them green, and that sort of thing. Not sure about like the full UI and like health status. However,
yeah, like a little party thing up in the left-hand corner. Is that gonna? Can you see that ever in the game?
Maybe one day. It would. I would even say maybe it was a crafted thing where you actually wear. You have to put on like what are the sticky things? Those annoying sticky things that read the cart, and like you just happen to all have those, so you can see how each other are doing.
Interesting.
That'd be kind of cool.
Interesting. You know, a lot of people play these games, and one of the biggest complaints, even people watching streams, the running joke is that it's a running simulator.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing that you think is going to convince people that it's not? Or is that just something that is always going to exist in these games where you are kind of running and foraging for an hour, and then there's 2 minutes of just intense action between you and another human being, and then it's back to the same old, same old?
So it's been really fun to watch the Arma community and see the progression of what they're playing in their downtime, and it's been a lot of battle royale and with their time.
That's what I've been playing a lot of.
It's so much fun. It's
Good.
ridiculous.
It's good.
So really, I think there's something for everyone, right? Where whether or not you love the running part of the game, you're itching for that moment of just crazy whatever. Whether it's that guy chasing you with an axe decides to shoot you in the dick while you're handcuffed and you run away with handcuffs on until a friend comes and saves you. Right. Syndicate. Stuff like that is just hilarious to watch because there is so much suspense. But we have added a lot of different systems that will allow you. So if you're in a different area than you were before, you're going to find different things to craft with. So at least while you're running, you're able to go, wait, what is that? And you go and you check out, it's a different type of berry. It's like, is it poison or should I just eat it? And so you have other things to think about at least. And granted, we also will be a little bit bigger with more people. So
Sure. Is there going to be a roadmap, much like PlanetSide 2 has right now? Is that something you guys want to do?
We'll see. We want to let people know where we're going. First, we need to know. I mean, like, we have a really big picture idea, but it's like, it would be like 6-month roadmap, 6-month mark, complete game. Or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like full game launch or whatever. Right. There wouldn't be a lot of bullet points, so we need to get to early access first.
Speaking a little bit about the AI intelligence, what is the extent of that? Will they be able to climb ladders? Will they search certain areas if they know you were there? Will we see them kind of be... I guess there's a weird guideline, right, for zombies, because, like, they're dumb, but for fun gameplay, you want them to be somewhat smart, right?
Yeah, and primal is the way we look at it. So even as is, which hasn't shown too well on streams yet, as we're still working out some kinks, but we've got them working pretty well on our local servers, on our local builds, where if you lose the zombie's sight, so you run out and you leave its line of sight, and you manage to look back down at them, they will go to the last place they knew you were, and they'll run around and they'll try to find you. Like, they'll just look within that area, and once they don't find you, they get frustrated and they'll run to where they think you are next, and eventually they'll calm down and go back where they were or move onward if there's activity. So they're a little bit smarter than you'd expect. If you go close the front door on a zombie, and there's a back door closed as well, you open the back, they'll run to the back door.
Okay.
So they're a little smarter than what you'd expect, but they're not Einsteins of combat. So,
gotcha. Yeah. We talked a little bit about H1Z1, the Reddit subreddit right now that you guys are using is kind of your community. Is that going to remain your official community, or somewhere down the line will you guys eventually adopt SOE official forums?
I don't know. I mean, we like Reddit for the reason that, once again, you kind of tell the temperature of the community, and people will upvote what they want us to see and what they want other people to see. So it's a really good way for us to see what people are interested in right at that moment, and that's usually hard to pull from forums. Like right now, we've started dev blogs on our own website because, to be honest, we just get buried so fast on Reddit. It's like we've got to have dev blogs where people can go reliably and say, hey, this is what they're working on. So for now, we're going to stick with the subreddit. I mean, we'll see if forums ever pop up, but we like Reddit.
You guys have done a couple of these radio shows for H1Z1,
yes.
Which are kind of showing a little bit of the lore of the game, although very light. And we've seen it even pop up over in PlanetSide 2 with something like I think it was the Hossam patch, where you guys had a little bit of, I guess, narrative text talking about the patch and whatnot. Is that something we can expect for H1Z1? Is it going to always remain really lore light, or do you guys want to jump into that a little bit more down the road?
We don't want to throw it in anyone's face. think players can come up with their stories on their own. I mean, honestly, this genre is a lot of role-playing, and that is exciting. That's really fun because you never know who people want to be. The accountant could be the actor. We will continue to let people know what's going on with the lore, and we'll keep fleshing it out and showing it on Twitch and stuff, but it'll never be right in your face in game that I can imagine.
Okay.
It'll be more light. So you'll see, like, hey, when we build our world, you'll see, like, a survivor camp, and you'll see a car wrecked against a road, and then down a little bit further you may have seen they were chasing someone or running. So we'll try to tell stories, but not via narration.
Are you guys going to do any events kind of in-game, maybe around Christmas where it's constantly snowing, or
if they let me do my own events, it's going to be really hectic. I mean, like, sorry, like, I think any of us as devs, we'd have some fun with that. We want to do events. It would be really fun to do.
Okay. You know, you started showing this game probably, I think you've mentioned it, 4 or 5 years before people would ever show another game. Some of these other devs out there would never show a game. Do you guys have a fear of the hype or excitement waning at all, where, you know, a year from now, people have seen your game so much at so many different stages that they're just like, I can't anymore. Like, I want it to come out. I'm done watching that game for now. I'm going to go do something else. Is that a fear of anyone on the dev teams?
We're really lucky in the way that, and like, it's not a gimmicky or like PR thing that we say. Like, we legitimately work really fast and really well as a team. We got really lucky with the people we pulled in because everyone was, at the beginning, this is a black box project just to get the tech and everything up and running and the concept design. And then we just, hey, are you interested in this type of project? Come on, let's go. And we work well together. So we will be to market at a launch state much faster than our other games. So I don't think we're too concerned. I think that we work with urgency and we make sure that what we do is completed and polished by launch, and we'll have a good game. That's what we're worried about.
Personally, what is the one thing that you're always wanting to get in game right now?
Oh, me right now?
What is that rare item that you are constantly seeking out?
Oh, you mean like whatever spawns in the world?
Yeah. What are you always looking
for? Ammo. This game trolls the shit out of me. I get guns. I don't know what it is with me. I'm like a gun magnet, but I never get ammo ever. Okay. I've found like one box of ammo my entirety of playing this game.
So typically guns don't spawn with ammo right next to them.
No.
Then do they spawn with any bullets in the chamber or anything like that? So if you find a gun, you might still be screwed.
No, absolutely. You know, I bet not even might. You are still screwed until you find the ammo. Yeah.
Does it show the gun on your avatar when you have it, or will players never know unless you pull it out?
You will. So right now they do not. We're getting the animation systems together to do that now. That's imperative to us because that is a huge part of the genre. You need to know what threat you're facing.
Okay.
Right? So.
Cool. Well, I think the final question, I've already asked it on the stream, but I think people want to hear it in this video. When's early access? When's release? What can we expect? Any timeline? Are we still talking 2014?
Can I drop the mic and just walk out?
If you want to, it's up to you.
No, yeah, we're talking 2014. Just to quickly address, because it seems like we got buried right at E3. We talked about a lot of the early access stuff, and there's so much that happened at E3. Everyone's like, they're not talking to us. I'm like, we're over here.
Right.
We're still talking. We did the 3 to 5 weeks thing, and then we said, wait a second. You know, we really don't want the stigma of we don't have complete systems, and we want to make sure we have what people expect from paying $20. We don't want zombies to trip out. We don't want the servers to crash, and we want to make sure that everyone gets a taste of where we're heading. So we're not far away, but it's not a date thing. There's a list of things we want to get done. They're not all shiny. It's not all like, hey, new weapon, new prone, new whatever. Like, some of it is, you know, make sure we have proper player tracking on server stability, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So stick with us. Like, we want to deliver on the promise of having a AAA publisher behind the just genre, and we'll get there. We're getting there quick.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for the interview.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Thank you.